Hello, by the end of today, you should know how to rotate a figure on a coordinate plane clockwise, counterclockwise, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. The reminder is if you forget which way is clockwise and counterclockwise, you need to write that at the top of your paper. 12, and then 1, 2, 3, and you know that it goes this way. So this is clockwise. Then counterclockwise is the opposite, counterclockwise. So just having that little reminder at the top of your paper or the top of your test is a good idea. Next, we have to remember what 90, 180, and 270 means. So remember, a 90-degree angle is like this. It's a right angle. 180 is this. The 270 is around like this. But if you notice that if I just went counterclockwise 190, I would do the same thing. So oftentimes you're not going to see a 270-degree rotation. They'll just say 90 degrees in the other direction, okay? So those are all things that you need to pay attention when you're asked to rotate a figure. So here we have on a rotation of 180 degrees about the origin. Notice how it doesn't tell you clockwise or counterclockwise. Well, that's because no matter which way you rotate it, it's going to be the same. If it's 180 degrees clockwise, you'll get into this quadrant. If it's 180 degrees counterclockwise, it's into this quadrant. So no matter what, you're always going to go into this quadrant. Now I know that Delta Math has you doing it a little bit different. I'm going to show you what you can do if you have it on paper or if you have a computer that you can lay flat, okay? So if you can open it up all the way and then spin your computer. So the Chromebooks do that. So what you'll notice is we want to get into this quadrant. So I'm going to make a little mark in this quadrant, okay? And I'm just going to put a little X over here. You can make a little heart, you can put a little daisy, you could, whatever figure you want. I'm just going to do, although now that I've said daisy, I kind of want to draw a little daisy, but that's okay. I'm going to put a little X here, so I know that this is the quadrant I want to go to. Next, I'm going to start at the origin. So my first point has the ordered pair of 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4, 0 there. That's my first point. Now I'm going to spin my paper so that this quadrant is in this location. And I'm going to pretend that this quadrant is this quadrant, and then I'm going to put a point at 4, 0. So I'm going to spin my whole paper. Remember, I wanted the upper quadrant, and I'm going to pretend, and I have to remember, okay, it was 4, 0. So I'm going to pretend, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. And that was point W, so I'm going to go ahead and label it W prime. Now I know this is going to be upside down when I put it over, but that's all right. And now I'm going to spin it back. Now my next point, and if you want to fix the point so that it looks right side up, you can, so W prime. My next point, I'm going to do this point here. So starting here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know this is at point 2, 4. So U prime is going to be at 2, 4 in this after I spin it. So remember, I need to get into this quadrant because it's 180 degrees. So I'm going to spin it and then put a point at 2, 4. Spin, spin, spin. 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to label it U prime. Lastly, I'm going to do V. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4, 5. Spin my paper. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my new point. And that is V prime. Now I can go ahead and connect my points. And you will see that this figure has been spun around 180 degrees. Now what happens if it's just 90 degrees clockwise? Let's take a look at this one. So I want 90 degrees clockwise. So remember, clockwise is this way, And 90 degrees means it's just 1 over. So 90 degrees, I'm going to go to this one. This time I am going to draw a little daisy. So I need to get it into this quadrant because that's 90 degrees clockwise. But I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to look at this quadrant here where the shape is. So -4, 2. Now I need to get this quadrant into this location so that I could put it at -4, 2. So I'm going to spin my paper so that this quadrant is where the shape is. And now I'm going to draw, if I remember, -4, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that's where my point is. Spin it back, and that was R. So this is going to be R prime. So -2, 5. I need to get it into this quadrant, so I'm going to spin this quadrant to be in the location where my shape is currently. And then I'm going to put the point -2, 5. So put this here. And then -2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was S prime. And lastly, we have T. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So -5, 4 is T. My figure is here, but I need to get it here. So I'm going to spin this quadrant so that it looks like it's in this position. And then I'm going to put the -5, 4 point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll label this T prime. Now this can be difficult if you're trying to do this on a Chromebook. You'll have to lay your Chromebook flat. You'll have to spin the Chromebook, just like we did the paper, and then you'll have to use, if you have a mouse from another computer that you could just like plug into your Chromebook for, just a small second, or if you have a wireless mouse, that's even better. But, or you can use the keypad to kind of move the cursor to where you need, or the arrow to where you need it. But that does make it very challenging to do it this way. Delta Math has another way, and for those of you at home, it might be easier to just memorize the rules of what happens to the X and Y coordinates when you rotate it. Just a word of advice though, make yourself some flashcards or go on to my Quizlet to get those flashcards, because each rotation and each degree of rotation is a different rule. So there's a lot of memorization when it comes to this. We're going to do one more, and that's this one. And if you notice, it's a 90-degree counterclockwise. So remember, counterclockwise is this way, and it's 90 degrees, so it's just going to go one quadrant. So it's going to go from here into this quadrant. So I'm going to mark this quadrant with a star this time. So I need to get this figure into here. This figure, let's get the points first. So I'm going to spin so that this, where I want it, okay, is going to be down here in the lower right-hand corner. That way I can draw this figure in that quadrant. So I'm going to spin it so it's in the lower right-hand quadrant, just like my figure is when I'm looking at it right side up. And then I'm going to put the 2, -1 point. And that would be F prime. Next, G is 2, -1, 2, 3. So 2, -3. Spin my paper. 2, -3. There's my G prime. In my E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, -4. Spin my paper. And there's my E prime. My suggestion would be go ahead and practice this. Create a coordinate plane, draw your own figure, and then practice rotating it to each of the different quadrants. 90-degree counterclockwise, do a 90-degree clockwise. Do a 180. Okay. Thank you.